What's going on, you guys? So, David Benavidez and David Lemieux is going down tomorrow night. But David Morrell is going to be watching, and he wants the winner of that fight. Hit that like button for your boy. Give me that HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special. Been on the road to 20,000 subscribers. But David Benavidez, the boogeyman of the super middleweight division, has now got somebody that has him in their crosshairs. His name is David Morrell. David Morrell Jr. has been calling out David Benavidez, and he says he wants the winner of this fight against him and David Lemieux. He's going to be paying close attention to this fight, and he says this: I am watching Benavidez versus Lemieux carefully this weekend on Showtime. I want the winner, and I'm not being shy about it. I feel I'm the best fighter in the division, and it is clear that no one wants to fight me. So I have to call people out because I'm so heavily avoided. Wow. So David Morrell has been really calling these guys out, right? He's only 6-0 with 5 knockouts, but he's a Cuban international standout, right? He's a highly decorated Cuban amateur boxer. So, they kind of move these guys fast. He got a belt, right? He already got a regular WBA title. But David Benavidez, I guess David Morrell caught wind that David Benavidez mentioned his name amongst Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant, right? But of course, he got to focus on David Lemieux. It's too many Davids in this situation, right? There's 3 different Davids in this situation. But he also says, I saw that David Benavidez mentioned my name with Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant. Well, I'm here to tell him now that I'm not afraid of him like these guys are. I'm ready to fight him anytime, anywhere. That's what he said, right? And as we know, David Lemieux, this guy he's fighting tomorrow night, for those who don't know, he's been around for quite a while. We haven't seen him really fight on any major networks or platforms in quite a while, but David Lemieux is on like a 5-fight win streak. His promotional company have been having him fighting guys to kind of just build him back up, and then now he's to the point now where he's fighting David Benavidez, right? So this is what they've been doing with David Lemieux over there in Canada. They've been having him whoop on guys. He's been over there beating up on dudes, getting his confidence back, getting some momentum, and now he's in here fighting David Benavidez. It's a fight that fans really didn't ask for, but he worked his way up the ladder, and now this is what's happening, right? Now, on David Benavidez's side, he's been calling guys out like Caleb Plant, Jamal Charlo, Canelo Alvarez. He's been looking to fight some of everybody in the division, but he really hasn't been poking at the prospect of fighting Dave Morrell Jr., right? Dave Morrell Jr., he really don't seem to really want to deal with Dave Morrell Jr. We're going to see. He has to focus on David Lemieux, right? It's just so many Davids in this situation. And then Dave Morrell says this: I came to America to challenge the best fighters in the world, like I did internationally in the amateurs for my countrymen of Cuba. When Benavidez and I step in the ring, it will be a monumental showdown. A fight everyone will be clamoring to see. I'm going to knock him out cold and establish myself as the next superstar in boxing. End quote. Wow. So yeah, David Morrell Jr. is really calling out the boogeyman of boxing, David Benavidez, right? David Benavidez is the boogeyman of boxing, but it's looking like that title is really getting put to test by David Morrell. I mean, the 2 Davids are going to have to fight for the title of the boogeyman of the division. That's what it's looking like, right? That's really what it's looking like. David Benavidez versus David Morrell for the title of the boogeyman. Somebody need to go ahead and make a belt and put the boogeyman on it, and then whoever wins is the official boogeyman of the super middleweight division. I mean, it's only right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's funny. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see what happens. David Lemieux, so many damn Davids. It's David Lemieux and David Benavidez fight. David Lemieux is what, 43-4 now, 36 knockouts. He's an OG in the game now. You know what I'm saying? And even though he's on a little win streak, it's hard. It's hard pressed to say he'll go out there and beat David Benavidez. David Benavidez got fast hands. He hits hard. It's gonna be a really, really tough fight for David Lemieux, man. But we're gonna see what happens. David Lemieux can punch. And I always like David Lemieux. He's a puncher, and if he hits you, man, he's likely gonna hurt you or knock you out. So Triple G was able to handle his power pretty well. So Triple G got an iron chin, but other than that, not too many people can stand up to David Lemieux's power. I mean, he's 43 wins, 4 losses with 36 knockouts. So majority of his fights, whoever he's been in there with, is in it with somebody getting knocked the fuck out. So I expect somebody to get knocked out when these two guys step in the ring tomorrow night. But whoever wins, will they fight David Morrell Jr.? David Morrell Jr. also told David Benavidez that he's going to whoop him. He's going to wreck him. Worse, no. He said he's going to wreck him like Crawford did his brother, except it won't be a Jose hitting the canvas. It'll be a David hitting the canvas. I mean, he's been talking a lot of trash to David Benavidez. I mean, he's going to have to answer this dude. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have the answer to Dave Morrell after this fight. I expect him to address Dave Morrell Jr. after this fight. You can't call yourself the boogeyman of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And I like David Benavidez, so let's not get it misconstrued. I like Benavidez. I think he's dope. But if you call yourself the boogeyman, and if somebody challenges that title, and it's somebody that's worthy, not to mention this guy actually has a belt, you have to address that call, bro. You have to answer that call. There's no Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, we already know what type of time he's on at this point. You know, Caleb Plant, he's been kind of running circles around this fight for years now. Do fans really even care about seeing Benavidez and Caleb Plant really at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like, that fight should have been happened. Jamal Charlo, he's hesitant. He's fighting Maya Selecki on June 18th. On Juneteenth, he's fighting Maya Selecki. I mean, this is the fights that's happening right now. So it's up to guys like David Benavidez to say, you know what? I don't care what you're saying, Samson Boxing. I'm going to have to go after this Dave Morrell guy. They're on the same side of the street. There's really no excuses for these guys not to be fighting. And we're going to have the battle of the Davids, right? It's going to be 3 Davids. Battle of Davids. Most people don't believe David Lemieux is going to stand a chance against David Benavidez, but this is boxing. Anything can happen. We'll see. Dave Morrell Jr., right? You know, he's a young fighter. Southpaw, Cuban, highly decorated amateur, 6-0 with 5 knockouts. He don't have too much going as a professional, but his amateur background speaks for itself, right? And going into as a professional, these guys are a little bit hesitant on calling out this guy's name. You know what I'm saying? And this is what it is. You know, David Benavidez, he calls himself the boogeyman of boxing. He has the title of the boogeyman of the super middleweight division, but when you got a guy like David Morrell out here calling you out, he has a title holding it up in the middle of the air. You got to address that call, bro. You got to see what he's talking about. Like, subscribe, hide your boy. Peace out.